Yes, people, welcome back to West Ham Unofficial. I hope you are all well. You join us for our Premier League Roundup show. Back once again for another Monday night. My usual guests are with me. Firstly, Josh, how are you doing?
I'm alright, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. A lot better after a point on Saturday night. And also joining us, he's better late than never. Shaun, how are you?
I'm really well, really good. See, Josh has got a new bedroom.
I know. We were talking about before he went on. He's trying to outdo me with his chair and his background, but yeah. Josh is back, and I've set him a few quid, and he's got himself a decent, setup. Shaun, you're next. Don't worry.
Yeah, send the money my way.
All right, we're gonna get rid of that wallpaper. We're gonna get you a chair like that, and we're gonna put a lot of West Ham shirts behind you. And maybe one Villa shirt in the corner. Okay. Let's see. We've got in the chat before we get cracking tonight. Peter, hope you are well. Good evening, Jake, and everyone else. So Leeds are no longer marching on together. They definitely aren't. Talk about that towards the end of the show when we get on to Leeds. Hello to everybody watching live. Terry, everyone, make it evening. Peter, even though it's Jesse telling T Lampard. I hope you are well, Terry. Everybody else watching in the chat. Right then, we will start off down in West London then. Chelsea 0, Fulham 0. And I'm going to start with you, Josh.
Yeah, I did watch this one actually. I thought it wasn't a great game. I think first half, Chelsea probably were the better team, but they still weren't too great. I know they had one off the line. I think it was Diop, but they weren't too great. The Enzo Fernandez in the midfield didn't really get on the ball too much, but they were all right. Fulham, the fair play to them, they were compact. They played quite well. They did what they had to do. They definitely would have taken a point at the start of the game. And still not looking too good for Chelsea. They've spent some ridiculous money. Some of the stats I've seen is just crazy, really. But yeah, I'm sure they will start picking up results at some point. But at the minute, it's still not looking too good for them. I think Kai Havertz is still playing because Felix is out. Still got Kai Havertz up front, and he's not really number 9. He's probably get the best out of him in the number 10 role. That's how he did well in Germany. So it's not looking too good for them at the moment. But I think next few weeks depends on the run of fixtures they have. But they did play quite well against Liverpool in the game before that the other week. But they should definitely start coming back with the money they've spent. Should never be down there. It's ridiculous. But fair play to Fulham. They're doing much better than expected this season, and they played quite well. They did what they had to do. They had a few half chances. That's all they needed to do. They only really needed a point. So, yeah, it's not looking too good for Chelsea at the moment, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll come on to the FFP stuff a little bit later on, but Chelsea will be struck with that in about 2026. So we'll talk about that then. But yeah, fair play to Fulham. They went there. They got a point. To be fair, I'm sure they were hoping for that at the very least after when they played them a few weeks ago, and they know as well as anybody how vulnerable Chelsea are at the moment. And I hope David Moyes and his backroom staff ahead of next Saturday lunchtime have been watching it and hopefully trying to replicate what Fulham did, and hopefully Chelsea can just stay like this for at least another week. But one of the first big upsets of the weekend takes us up to Merseyside then. Everton won Arsenal. Another one time I wanted Arsenal to win a football match. They failed. Shaun, I'm sure you've got a smile on your face because you haven't been able to, talking about Arsenal for a while.
Yeah, I think I said last week, I can't remember when Dyche got the job, but I think I mentioned last week that he seemed like the right man for it. I expected him to turn around. I didn't expect him to do it this quick, to be honest, but I think he's gone in there, galvanised him quite a lot. I think he's whipping him in the training. I did watch it. I don't remember Arsenal having too many clear-cut chances either, really. I think
the only one I can really remember was that Nketiah one that he fluffed over the bar, but apart from that, there wasn't too many there.
I don't remember Pickford being stretched for any big saves. Well, yeah, you can't fault him. You can see the extra hard work they put in. You know what Dyche is going to bring. I thought at the time, if you look at the goal he scored was made in Burnley, wasn't it? It was O'Neill cross and Tarkowski header. The squad they've got probably suits a bit of hard graft and unit. Like, I think Onana's been a good signing for them. I know you were in for him. I can't really fault what he's done. I think he's been a good player. Obviously, they flogged Gordon. Obviously, he didn't probably want that. But if he suddenly said he wanted to go, I expect Dyche Did he go before Dyche come in? I think he did, didn't he?
I think he went a couple of days before he came in.
Yeah, but I'd imagine Dyche was already in talks and was made aware by then. Don't think Everton didn't even spend a penny in January, so I'm guessing Dyche must have been. He would have been talks, I think, for a couple of weeks for the job. Even poor Lampard went, I would have thought, just like one little eye on the squad. Arsenal, probably just a blip because they're not going to come across many teams that are hard-working, organised, trying to impress the new manager. First game up in front of the home fans. It ticked a few boxes for an upset, really. I didn't really expect... I did actually think Arsenal might get a late goal and nick it, but obviously it went the other way. But yeah, that's Everton. I'm sure we'll talk about the bottom 6, 7 all night long, but I'll go early and say I don't think Everton will go down at all now. Dyche is there.
Do you think they'll keep them up?
I'll go early. And my Leeds fan mate, which we'll talk about more again as well. I think he said to me the last 5 Everton managers have all won their first game, but I think this is the first.
Dyche is different gravy.
But I think this is the first appointment for about 4 or 5 where the appointments made sense. And I don't just mean like to keep them up sense. He just suits the squad.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They've got a lot of players that need whipping the shape a bit, but they haven't got too many fancy pretty boy players there at the moment. I think if they can get a tune out of Calvert-Lewin, I don't think he's a bit soft for a big lad, to be honest. If they can get a bit more out of him, I'll go early. I think they're still in the relegation zone now, aren't they? With 1 out, I can't remember. I'll be surprised if they go down. I think they got Liverpool at Anfield next, and I wouldn't be surprised if they get a point there.
And I think that I think if we'll talk about it a little bit later. We'll talk about it more later on. But I think if you're going to put your money on any teams going down, I think your money's best placed with the teams down on the south coast at the moment. But we will talk about that a little bit later. See what else we got in the chat before we carry on. I'm going to scroll up on some of these comments. Peter says, "Trust until we lose the next game. Always is. Get the GoFundMe page up and running for poor Manchester City." Peter says, "Shaun, you look like you're in a broom cupboard. I presume that's the backboard to your bed, so you're not in a broom cupboard."
No, I'm in my bedroom today, mate. Relegated to the room upstairs.
Relegated to upstairs. Betty, hope you're well, mate. You're right, a shocking weekend for us Villa fans. I'm sure Josh has got plenty to say when we get onto that a little bit later on. Jay, hope you are well. Sharky as well. Mella, what for fun? Hope you're well, mate, as well. Peter says, got to give credit to the likes of Fulham, Brentford and Brighton this season. Not spent big money and they're doing the business indeed. Peter says, Dyche told the players to wake up or face prison or get in or he'll have you in a headlock. So one or the other. Josh's granddad, what a win for the boys. Come on, you Blues. There we go. I mean, it wasn't great for us, but for you boys, yeah, absolutely brilliant. James, hope you're well, mate. Great win for the Toffee men indeed. Mella says, my team, Watford in the long term will be good. We took Eintracht Frankfurt's recruitment November 2022. It's a miracle. Christ. Josh's granddad says, we were so nervous as it neared the end of the game, plus 6 minutes, but you held on, and that's all that mattered. Right, we got a bit carried away there. Let's move on to beautiful Molineux there. Wolves 3, Liverpool 0. Our man Craig Dawson amongst the goals on his Wolves debut. And Josh, they've beaten Liverpool.
Yeah, I don't know what it is for Liverpool. It's just, I think they've definitely been found out. It's just the way they play, they can't really play like that anymore. The line is still so high, and a few of them players have been, because they've been injured the last few years, they've lost a few yards of pace. Van Dijk in particular, even though he hasn't been playing the last few weeks, it's just, I think they keep getting caught and behind too much now. Gomez and Matip, they're not great centre backs. I think Matip was only good because he's playing alongside Van Dijk last few seasons. Joe Gomez is quite an overrated centre back. He always makes at least one mistake in about 3 or 4 games usually. And Mo Salah is just he's not performing this season. We see it a lot when players sign big contracts; they just don't perform. Darwin Núñez is just, he gets in the right positions, but he just misses too many chances. It's just really not looking good for them at the minute. I think most of my mates who are Liverpool fans still want Klopp in, but I think if they don't even get top 6, then I think you've got to look.
That would be funny.
It would be very funny, but I think just depends how they do in the Champions League as well, because knowing their luck, they'll probably come about ninth but still win the Champions League, so they get in it again next season. But yeah, it's not looking good for them. As for Wolves, they look very good in the new manager, and fair play to them. I think obviously Dawson scored in his debut, Neves got one as well. And even Adama Traore looked like a good player. I saw the highlights from it. He looked better. His end product was a lot better. Could have been more as well. They had so many more chances. If we went for Alisson in goal, could have been 4 or 5. But as for Liverpool, they've got Everton next in the derby. It's not going to be easy. Under the Dyche team, it's certainly not going to be easy. But I do think they'll win that one. But I'm not sure that if they're going to get any type of Europe this season, because I think they've definitely been found out.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the majority of the footballing world do find the downfall of Liverpool mildly amusing, but we'll just see what happens there. You know, where their wins and goals and improvements coming from. I'm not so sure, but that's not for us to worry about. That's for them to worry about. Moving on to another 3-0 game, and Brentford keep going as the Southampton fans voice their anger about Nathan Jones. Brentford 3, Southampton 0. Shaun.
Yeah, this is an odd one. I know Brentford, they can be pretty good at home, aren't they, normally? But don't know, this new Saints man, he's had a strange sort of start, really, because we've been about 2 games the fans weren't having his style. He likes a long ball. They had those good 2 or 3 games in the Carabao Cup. I think they knocked City out in the quarterfinal, didn't they? And they had sort of 2 battling performances in the semi-final. But it's just gone sour quick. I think I didn't hear what he actually said, but didn't he call out a couple of the players in interviews or something like that? I know for a fact as well they played. Well, this game was on the Saturday. The under-23s had a game on the Friday night, and he played 2 or 3 of their youngsters that are doing well for the first team. So fans queried that as well while they're playing the night before a game. I'll be honest, I don't think the fans are having him. I also think he's fallen out with some players, so I would not be shocked. I follow a few of the local press down there, and the way they were talking is almost like he wasn't in for training today. So it just sounded like this morning the writing was on the wall already. So I wouldn't. How it's going, I wouldn't hold my breath if he's gone before the end of the month already. I honestly think it just hasn't worked out. I don't know whether he's got a bad attitude around the place, whether he's come in and he's a young. Well, I think he's a youngster, but he's coming from the Championship, so he ain't got much experience as such. It just sounds like whatever it is, he's just not the fit, which is bad because obviously they had Hassan Hootel for 4 or 5 years, and they'd known he was going to go for a little while, so you think they'd lined up a replacement and done their proper research, but it's not happening. Brentford, another great result, but Saints are up against it by the look of it, especially if there's another manager out the door. 3-0. But when you he's only had like a small handful of league games, you shouldn't be losing 3-0. Really, no. you got to see some kind of improvement from that. But yeah, so I don't think he'll be there long. Don't be surprised if he's gone this week.
No, I think it's sort of a new manager, same sort of problems. They had their sort of quite good spell when they went and beat City. Their spell usually lasts about 5 games. They play really well, and then they turn rubbish again, and they've done that quite quickly again, and it's not looking good. It's like the same old issues down at St Mary's, and yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if he's gone by the end of the month as well. Let's move up to Villa Park then. Aston Villa 2, Leicester City 4. Now, Josh, is this a rivalry or not?
It's not really, but both clubs are in the Midlands, but still quite a fair distance away. Probably about 45, 50 minutes. But yeah, it doesn't matter. We still got beat, and it wasn't a good performance at all. Again, it was just, we absolutely battered him. We had something like 18 shots to their 5 or something like that. Ridiculous. When they only scored 4, just shows how the difference in how clinical teams can be. We had a disallowed goal as well, Coutinho, but it's just happened every week. And another mistake from playing out from the back. I don't know if you saw it, but it was a shocker. Kamara on the edge of his own box, trying to turn his man. Martinez passes it to him, tries to turn, falls on the ball and just they lose it and then put it into an empty net. It goes around Martinez. It's about the fourth, fifth time since Emery's come in. It's cost us playing out from the back. We need to stop it because we haven't got the players to do it. And it's not working. It's costing us games. It's costing us lots of points. It's costing the cup, both cups, United and Stevenage. And it's cost us in the league a few times as well. But we created so many chances. Again, Watkins finishes his hardest chance for the first goal. Buendia off the bar. He somehow manages to get it back in from a tight angle. He misses so many, but then he just scored his hardest chance. It's just so frustrating. And then must have had... There weren't many on target, though. We had about 15 shots. But there was about 5 of them were on target. It was really poor. Tete for Leicester, is that his name? I think it is, the new winger from Shakhtar. He looked a good player. I think he's only on loan, but yeah, he caused us lots of problems. But no, it's just been the story of our season. Mistakes cost us, and we just don't take our chances. Bailey's another one, really frustrating. You'd have one good game in about 3 and then just go missing. Really frustrating player. Disappointed that we didn't really do too much in January. We brought in Alex Moreno, a left back, and a young striker. You'd think he'd get at least a proven striker in with Danny Ings going to West Ham, and you'd think he'd get a winger in. So, but he didn't. But I'm not losing faith, but I just think this playing out from the back's got to stop, and the recruitment in January could have been better. But they've got to back him in the summer, because if they don't, then it's going to be difficult, and they've got to get it right with the players this time, or the fans will start getting annoyed.
Peter says, wrong comment. Cheer up, Josh. You aren't in a relegation battle. No, you've got a good manager there, and I think you will be okay out of it. And it's just getting the right players. And I think turfing out some of the players that probably aren't suited and probably aren't good enough for Villa. And Leicester, they're a weird old side. So who knows what they're going to do. So you never know. You certainly never know. Crazy game. Leicester needed that win. Yeah, they did. They were on a really, really bad. I think somebody said they were bottom of the form table since the World Cup. No, I don't know how the hell we weren't bottom of that. But Peter says Maddison back for Leicester makes a difference massively. Peter says Bailey spends most of the time on the Baileys. Oh dear. Right, next up then, we're going to go down to the South Coast again, to the Amex. Brighton 1, Bournemouth 0. Now this... Oh, I don't know what happened there. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I've got no idea what happened there.
I can't know.
Just right,
I thought your dad's Wi-Fi cut off.
There you go. Connection is unstable. Oh, I'm getting all these notifications through. Dad, put 10p in the meter. Right, we'll try again. Really, really, really hard one to take, you think, for Bournemouth, Shaun?
Yeah, I can't. Their form. I couldn't tell you exactly what it's like. But I don't know. They haven't won for a while, I believe. I don't know. Was this another late goal? Was it Brighton got a late one?
Yeah, 88th minute.
Yeah, I thought it was. I don't know. He's already got a few of the bigger clubs looking at him, and I noticed.
Yeah.
Sure. Obviously, Chelsea will have a look at him. Yeah, Bournemouth. They got a few players in January, didn't they? A few new players in. They spent a bit of money. Obviously, they got the new owners. They're another one. They already had one managerial sack in the season. Will they go again? Do you know what I mean? Wouldn't shock me. I know Gary. He had never not a bad start, but then all of a sudden you haven't won for 6 games. I'd imagine it's probably not far off that their form table. Yeah, like you said earlier, the South Coast teams, those two are in red, not far from us. They're going to be starting to look at them, thinking they look like the favourites, don't you? I know it changes week. Like we said last week, it's hard every week. You predict the bottom 3 is going to change because everyone's just some team will win one week, they never seem to lose. But those two, they both change. Both change a managers. That Both have had a slight upturn, and now they're just on a steady sort of, really just don't look like they're going to get a win anytime soon. So yeah, bit like Southampton, would not surprise me. I don't know who's out there, mine, because it's not hard to find managers that can take these squads that probably haven't got the quality to stay up. Really, I know Saints have done it, both skin their teeth for a few seasons, but Bournemouth, yeah, I know they got a few in. We don't really know a lot about the players they got, but yeah, don't be surprised if they make a change soon as well. You can only go on a losing run for so long before you start to think they're running out of points. But yeah, Brighton, you know what you get with Brighton, don't you?
Yeah, and they managed to grind out another 3 points there. Next, let's go to Old Trafford there. Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 1. There's plenty to discuss here. What camera angle are you looking at? Did Casemiro throttle him, or did he just pull his shirt? Plenty to discuss. Man United did come out to 3 points in the end. 2-1 victors over Crystal Palace, Josh.
Yeah, as for the Casemiro one, to be honest, I thought it was a red card. It looked like he grabbed that Will Hughes by the neck, really. I think it had to be a red card. And, it's about time Man United actually had VAR decision go against them. As for the handball penalty, I think I've seen it once. It did look a penalty from when I looked at it. His arms were in a natural position. But, yeah, United, I think they look like they're on good form at the minute. Rashford's got them for like 8 in his last 8, hasn't he? I think the top 3 in the league's already decided now. Arsenal, City and United. Can't see anyone catching United now for 3rd.
Well, you never know, Josh. City might have a 20-point deduction coming their way. Yeah, you never know.
They're bound to get that overturned. But yeah, as for Crystal Palace, they seem to be. They're just a funny team. They're always between about 14th and 10th. They're never really above that. I think they're 12th at the minute, and it seems like they've been stuck in 12th for ages. They just never seem to move. Always seem to go between about 15th and 11th. They never really seem to get out of there. After the World Cup, can't remember. I think they might have won one. But no, they weren't too. They got back in the game after the red card, didn't they? I can't remember who scored. But it's from a corner. I think it was a goal. Schlupp, was it? Yeah. Yeah. But however, United, another good performance. Rashford scored again. Luke Shaw. I have both of them in my fantasy Premier League team, so that was good. But United look like I think they should be getting top 3 or 4 now. As for Palace, I'm not sure. They'll probably stay around where they are. I think they're about 5 points off us in 11th. Just, as I say, seem to always be stuck there. But fair play to them. They tried to fight back, but wasn't to be.
Yeah. I think with Palace, there's just a strange old side. They'll finish mid-table, and that'll be about it. Obviously, with Casemiro set off with 20 minutes to go, and then Palace scoring 5 minutes after that. People must have thought it's going to be a long 15 minutes for Man United to hold on, but they did manage to hold on in the end, and it did finish 2-1. Let's go up to Tyneside. Before we do, though, let's take some of these comments. Man City may get relegated. Well, to be fair, we'll talk about it later on, but the investigation took 4 years to complete. That they've broken the rules. I could have told you that in 30 seconds, but it will take another 4 years for them to think of a punishment now before they get it overturned for some weird reason. But hey, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Man United leads on Wednesday. United always beat Leeds, don't they? So that wouldn't surprise me if they beat them there. Man City, yeah. Man City might just go. They might just get kicked out. Just go. 20-point deduction won't be enough. They should be relegated and banned from Europe. There are over 100 charges. That's the staggering thing about it. If anyone breaks the rule over 100 times, it's clear they have no respect for the powers to be that created that rule. I would relegate them. Worst decision at Old Trafford since Ryan Fredericks thought he would bomb down that wing. Don't even bring it back. Don't even bring it back. Anyway, right, next up, let's go to Tyneside then. Newcastle 1. West Ham won. Now I see Shaun is ready, but I'll have my little say if I stop smiling, Shaun. Finally, a point on the board for West Ham United, and much needed as well. And I thought it was a good performance, and I thought we did exactly what we needed to do to get that point up there that Moyes clearly wanted, nothing more and nothing less. I think it was clear from the substitutions he made, especially the bringing Souček on and bringing Fornals on, that he wanted the point, and that's exactly what he got. Finally, we scored a goal, a relief from a corner. Brilliant ball in by Declan Rice, right place, right time, bit of luck. Paqueta puts it into the back of the net. Dismal start to the game. I've done this backwards, but oh well. Dismal start to the game. Just completely switched off defensively. Left big gaps and just had a bit of a nightmare for 5 minutes. But we managed to get back into it and get a much needed point against the Newcastle side. I didn't think were great, but they're still a good side, and I think to get a point up there is very, very respectable. And what a tackle by Nerfagerd, I must say. Shaun, over to you.
Well, yeah, we said last week we analysed Newcastle's results a bit, didn't we? And
yeah,
they were struggling to score a lot, keeping it tight. And I said to you then, if West Ham want a point up there, it's there for the taking if Moyes wants it. And this is probably a bit of a compliment to West Ham at the moment. But I watched the game for lots of reasons. Obviously, to watch West Ham to uncover this, and I want to watch Newcastle again. It reminded me very much of sort of a dead rubber mid-table game, I must admit. Like that, and that, obviously West Ham aren't mid-table at the moment, so that's a bit of a compliment to them. But there wasn't, maybe a bit of a stalemate. There wasn't too much exciting stuff going on. Sort of cancelled itself out a little bit. Do you know what I mean? One of those sort of games. I think neither team really deserved to win it. I was going to question you about, were you a little bit disappointed on 74 minutes? That's not right near the end, where he basically threw the towel in. Because when I watched it, I thought that's 2 negative subs. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I did think, I know you'd be happy with a point, and that's 4 points from Everton and Newcastle, and you'd have snapped my hand off for that last week. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I can't have that, but on 74 minutes, I did think Paqueta was having a good game. I did think, has he done that a bit early? Do you know what I mean?
But I thought straight away, as soon as I saw the 2 players that are coming on, I predicted the subs. I knew what was going to happen, but I did think it was a bit early. And bringing on Danny Ings, I think you might as well have brought his Zimmer frame out with him, because he clearly wasn't fit. He just sort of wandered around a bit, and I don't know why he didn't keep Antonio on for the full 90. But it's just we knew it was going to happen, and I think if we left Antonio on, he would have got a chance, and he was causing them problems, I thought.
Rose again, mate?
Should be back in a minute. It's not like anything's happening.
What's going on? Oh, he's gone now.
Right.
He's completely cut off. Josh, what did you think of the West Ham Newcastle game then? How did you think it went?
Yeah, I thought didn't expect West Ham to get anything, but he's back now. I think
he's trying. I think he's got some dodgy Wi-Fi. I think his dad's been cut off for not paying the bill.
Right, I've got no idea what's happened there, right? But the computer's just stopped. I've got the Wi-Fi in here. What you said? Can you hear me?
Well, yeah, we didn't know if you were free. What happened, really? Yeah, we got you back. We were just about to cover do a bit of the game ourselves. Like, it's a strange one with West Ham, isn't it? Because Moyes, I think he knows he's down there in the mire a little bit, and he's just going to try and grind his way to safety a little bit, isn't he? So. A point here, a point there. I think, you're in the position now where you just got to take any point you can get. If you can sneak a win like last week, that there'll be other games you win. But I didn't think, like I said, when I said about it was like a bit like a mid-table clash. I think that was because I want to impress Newcastle really.
Mm.
They didn't. I know they're missing Bruno Guimaraes, weren't they? But that's only one player. They didn't excite me a lot. If you look at their results, you can't knock where they are in the league, but they're not blowing teams away. It's I messaged you on Twitter earlier, like you said about it's a good point up there. It is, but Leeds got that point last week and the week before. Palace got a similar point at home to them. I think if anyone wants to get a point against Newcastle, I think most teams can do it.
Yeah.
They might stay in there. I wouldn't be surprised if they drop out the top four. That would not shock me at all. But yeah, I think, like I said, to sum it up, I think you definitely took 4 points from those two games, and that's what he's got. I know you've got another couple of tough ones coming up, but if you could nick a point here, there, and everywhere, and just get up to like what are you on now, 19 points, something like that.
Oh, I don't know, but yeah, something like that. I think. Yeah.
If you can just creep up the league a little bit more, then I think Tottenham might have to do you a few favours. We've got a lot of teams down the bottom, including yourself, the next couple of weeks. I think we've got 7 games, and 6 of those are in the bottom 6. Bottom 7. Sorry, Leicester, the other one. But yeah, you'll take the point, won't you? It was just 74 minutes. I don't know if he went 5-10 minutes too early with that. That was all.
Yeah. Let's I think I've got it back here. I think just the computer's been a bit stupid, but just while I try and get myself back on here, let's take some of these comments then. I'm sure there's a few sarcastic comments in here. Yeah, put another 10p on the meter. Science is golden, very funny. Jake sent you to the commentary. Improvisation, I hope you both had it. Josh is smirking happy to be the top claret and blue team at the moment. Exactly. Josh, you won't be there for long, so just take it. Just take it. Right, next up, let's see what I've got. Let's see what this is live. Right, banners. Next up, we're going to go over to Nottingham Forest, and Josh, I'm going to go over to you whilst I try and flick back. Nottingham Forest 1, Leeds 0. Take it away.
Yeah, well, this is obviously the game which resulted in a sacking, which I thought was quite harsh after just a 1-0 defeat to Forest. But, probably did deserve it overall anyway. But, yeah, I did watch this one. I don't think Forest played that well, to be honest. I don't really think they had to. Leeds, he had a few chances. Patrick Bamford, I think he hasn't played since something like October. So he started, but was a bit rusty. A few heavy touches where he could have been in, but it's just gone through to the keeper, Keylor Navas, who I can't believe he's ended up going there. But he had a really good debut and made a few crucial saves. But yeah, the finish from Brennan Johnson as well.
Great
right
finish.
into the bottom corner, probably weekend. He's someone like if they do go, I think Villa should be looking at in the summer, but I don't think Forest will go down now, unfortunately. But I think he is a player, and Gibbs White by far their best 2 players. As for Leeds, they had a few chances. I don't really think Forest had to do too much, to be honest. That Nonto looks a good young player, but the defensive still all over the place. They brought McKennie on, the new signing. Didn't really touch the ball too much, to be honest. All Marsh's signings are just all players he's played with before. It's either Americans or ones he's had at his previous clubs, and I just don't think it's worked too much. That Aronson looks a good young player, but not too many of them do really, and I think it's probably right to sack him. I'm just unsure on who to get in now. Bielsa back, I don't know, but it's going to be difficult for them. I think that beyond Bournemouth and Southampton, that's definitely the one who I think will go down. But we'll see what happens. But they were poor yesterday. Fair play to Forest, good win for them.
Yeah, let's take some of your comments. I've got no idea what happened to the Wi-Fi. It just kicked me out. Completely kicked me out. But yeah, Leeds should have won in my opinion for us with Dyer. Peter says, but they didn't. But they didn't win in the relegation battle. It's just about getting the points. Forest have been solid. Nice to see. Well, I tell you what, they won't know what's hit them when the West Ham unofficial Barmy Army get up there. In a few weeks' time there. Leeds were worse than Forest though, says Sharky. Peter says we need to make it hard to beat us at home like Forest have, and yeah, hopefully in that big crunch game on the 25th we can make it hard for them. Right, Shaun, I'm gonna stop you from talking about Leeds because your poor Leeds mate gets a battering on here every week. But I'm going to promise you can talk about Leeds next week. But I tell you what, I was thinking Spurs were going to do a Spursy. And they didn't. Lloris didn't have a howler. Emerson actually played all right. Shaun, what is going on?
They had a team meeting about 2 weeks ago about these stupid mistakes. You know, they have a habit of having a good half, bad half. I think we go 2-0 down, come back, win 3-2. We were 2-0 up against Man City away a week ago, lost 4-2. Apparently they had a meeting and we've had 3 clean sheets since. They do look like they're fighting for each other a lot more. I know we discussed Lloris a lot. I think he's close to being finished, but whether he had the World Cup and all that, sometimes you see a little break to refresh your mind a bit. But yeah, they yesterday did look like it was almost like a complete Conte performance. You know what I mean? They are very solid in the back three. Haaland was pocketed as big as anyone's ever done all season. Midfield too, very hard work and shut effort down. I thought we looked quite good going forward. I thought we could maybe add another one at least. Thought we missed a couple of good chances. Couldn't really fault us really. I thought it was one of the better performances all season. I didn't think it was a bad game really. With Pep, we do well against Man City every single season. Without fail, I think their last 4 managers have managed to beat Man City. Even Nuno, beat them. With Pep, I think he knows mentally they struggle when they come to Tottenham. I think that's 4 or 5 times they've played at the new stadium and they haven't scored a goal yet. So I just wonder whether with Pep, I think sometimes probably an ego thing. He tries to be too clever sometimes, maybe mixes it up too much, rotates it too much. Obviously, he has got an ego. He's let Cancelo go this week, things like that. Obviously can't leave out Haaland, but I said the other week, as a team, it's not necessarily working.
It's the first time as well where he's come out with an excuse, which is very unpep-like, and he was like, "Oh, we travelled 4 hours and 20 on a bus down there." I'm like, some people were saying, "I'm sure their bus is better than my flat," you know. I'm sure their buses are like the blooming best in the business, and it almost sounded like Klopp was talking for him, and he seems rattled, and Man City seem rattled.
Yeah, like these charges that come out today. It's not really football chat. I know they did a statement saying that they've been dealing with the league for a couple of years, and they were shocked and surprised by it coming out. They probably knew yesterday. They've probably known for weeks this was coming out. And like I said, it's Man City haven't looked right. Let them let a player go. It doesn't look quite right there. I don't see them challenge for the title. I think they've got to put all their eggs in the FA Cup and Champions League basket. I don't think they're going to win anything. I said that the other week. I think Haaland could score 40 and they win nothing. I went early and said that a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, Tottenham playing well. I think they're in a nice little position. I think they're 1 or 2 points off of top 4. We've got a nice little run coming up. We got Leicester away. We got West Ham at home.
Don't forget the firm are coming to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Don't forget that, Shaun.
We got Wolves. We got Everton. And Southampton, we've got all those lower teams in the next sort of 7 games. With Chelsea at home, probably no better chance to play Chelsea at home. The bench looks strong again. Richarlison was back fit. Mora was back fit. We had Danjuma on the bench. Pedro Porro, new right wing back. He didn't need to play because Emerson Royale was putting in top class. The last 3 games, this has been linked to a new wing back. He's been quite good. I think he was voted man of the match by Tottenham fans yesterday. And obviously, Kane broke the Tottenham goal scoring record. So it was a good day, but I was really happy with the away win at Fulham last week, which I think one of the tougher places to get a win. To then go and beat Man City, I'll be honest, I would have been disappointed if they beat us again yesterday. I wasn't expecting them to beat us. Like, I was disappointed to lose 4-2 to them. Fair play. So yeah, I wasn't massively surprised by yesterday's result at all. But yeah, we got I didn't watch a Leicester game. I only scored 4, but we have to take the form on. Do you know what I mean? But I don't. Top 4 is not over by a long stretch. I don't think.
Josh, I don't know if you agree with me or not, but you wait till David Moyes and his team comes to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium 2 weeks' time. Tactical masterclass, Shaun. Just you wait. tactical masterclass. I can't confirm which manager's going to put through a tactical masterclass, but it's going to be a tactical masterclass. But yeah, hey ho. Let's take some of your comments before we go. I'm going to scroll up. Kane, now your all-time goal scorer, Shaun. Well, something you mentioned this week is a few off the book goals from what's his name? Jimmy Greaves. That's it. Come on, help me, Shaun. A few off the book goals, which mean he's probably not there yet. You know?
Yeah, he's Jimmy Greaves used to play for your lot. You should remember him.
Well, I'm 15, all right.
He's probably your greatest ever striker.
Oh, Shaun, lay off it. Anyway,
he probably is. Who's been a better West Ham striker? Actually, didn't only have a couple of seasons there, I think, didn't he?
I don't know. Ask the people in the chat who have been watching West Ham longer than I have, because I ain't got a clue. But hey ho. With City in trouble, hopefully, and they will keep their grubby paws off a Gerd. Let's hope so. No. Let's have a look. No, Arthur says here, hope David Moyes don't come to. We wouldn't wish that on you. Don't worry. Don't worry. We wouldn't wish that on you whatsoever. But yeah. So there we go. Lawrence has come into the chat as well. Thank you very much for joining us as well. There you go. Hurst, a proper World Cup winner. We will leave it at that. Right, Josh. We're going to do something different this week. Out of all the games this week, I want you to pick the best. And whilst you do that, I'd like to thank our channel sponsors right here on West Ham, on official SRM Carver and Son. Check them out by clicking the link in the description down below. Of course, hit that like button, subscribe to West Ham Official if you haven't already. We are on the road, fully on the road to 4K. Now we're less than 200 away. Smash that subscribe button. Josh.
In terms of goals, it'll probably have to be the Villa one, because there was that was 4-2. I can't think of any other 4-2s at the weekend. It was quite an entertaining match. It probably, although it wasn't the best for me, it probably, from a neutral, if you're neutral, that probably would have been the best game of the weekend.
And Shaun, the question I pose, which you do mention every now and then, this is the new thing. I thought of this, right? The most unforgettable game of the weekend, Shaun. You like that phrase?
Well, unforgettable game. I'll go for the game on Friday night, because most people forget the Friday night game anyway.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'll be honest, I don't think it was it wasn't a classic either, was it? If you have a stinker on a Friday, I'll give a shout. The answer to Josh's question, I'm going to answer both. I'll give a shout out to Dyche at Everton, because it sounded like Goodison was rocking a little bit as well. And you know what it's like, if you're down in the dumps for a couple of years, the crowd gets on. They were like, wouldn't let the players on the ground 2 weeks ago. But yeah, fair play to Dyche. It's a great result, that.
And I'm going to go for the 3-0 win at Molineux for Liverpool, because it did sound like Molineux was rocking as well, after visiting there a few weeks ago. It was loud in there then, and it sounded like it was absolutely rocking as they beat the Scousers. They didn't take it very well. They started ripping out seats, but there we go. There we go. So yeah, there we go. That's Premier League Run-Out Show done for another week. Game week 22 out of 38. Ticked it off. It is done, and we'll see you for some. I think there's some midweek action. United taking on Leeds, and I presume there'll be a couple of others, maybe just that game. I don't know, but we'll be back for the Premier League Run-Out Show next week, where we're going to talk about West Ham, who have beaten Chelsea. Who have you got next week, Shaun? Do you say Leicester? Leicester beating Spurs, and Josh, who have you got next week?
Man City. Man City.
And Aston Villa beat a Man City. So tune in next week for that show. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. I'm going to leave all of you talking away in the chat. And the final comment, where is it? Here it is. Hurst won the World Cup with Jimmy Greaves on the bench.
He did, Jake. But anyone that's followed football for 40, 50 years know that Jimmy Greaves was a far, far better player and a better career. But yeah, Hurst did have that little run in the team. Can't fault him for that.
Thank you very much, Shaun and Josh, for joining us once again. We'll see you very, very soon from me. Come on, you irons, and we'll catch you soon. Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, cheerio.
Bye-bye.